Hello, everyone. It's lovely to get to meet you again in this way. It's been a little while since I've done one of these Ask Me Anything segments. We've already got some great questions I can see. So we'll just chat here maybe for a minute or so, let more people come on, and then we'll head into it and I'll talk a little bit about who I am and what I do and what to expect tonight. But I just would love to it's so fun to see your names. Some of them I know. Holly, hi. I would love to know where you're watching from. If it's I'm in the Pacific Northwest, Seattle. Where are you all from? Tiffany, Deanna, Odd Fish. Anybody wanna chit chat? I think I have it set, typing mode is on a 15-second delay between your comments, just, to keep them a little slow on my end. I'm just doing this here. It's pretty casual, and so in order for me to be able to see your, comments, I've kinda slowed it down a little bit. Portland, Idaho. Idaho, love Idaho, was born in Idaho. North Carolina, I don't know if I knew that. Tiffany, did I know that? Melanie from Nevada. Where in North Carolina? Where in Idaho? Anyway, we don't need to get too personal if you don't want to, but it's fun to think about. Woohoo, Renton! It's fun to think about where you're all situated because even though we're not in the same room, I always when I do these with you, these events, these Ask Me Anything with you, I always feel like, as we get into it, we're all together, so it's really fun, Reno, Raleigh, oh, to escape Portland, got it. Well, North Carolina is beautiful, so beautiful. Well, okay, so I don't know, it's been a couple minutes, so maybe I'll go ahead and do my opening, comments, and then we can just jump in. So, um, I'm I'm thinking a fair number of you who, I'm seeing already on the comments have done this before, or you've worked with me before, so you already know who I am. But if any of you don't know who I am, and particularly if there's anyone who watches this later, I'll just quickly tell you. My name is Megan. I'm a psychic medium, a certified shamanic practitioner, a spiritual counselor, a certified past life regression hypnotherapist. I've been in practice since 2002. I see clients in person at my office in Seattle, and I work with people all over the world via video or phone. I teach, I write articles, I've written a book, and I started doing these Ask Me Anything segments about 3 years ago, I think. This is maybe the eighth one. And I loved the idea of getting to meet spontaneously like this. I love the idea of, for whatever reason, if I haven't worked with you or chatted with you, it's a way for all of us to come together. It's a way for those of you who have questions to hear my perspective on the answer, and then anyone watching gets to share in that. So I'm keeping the comments on for the live segment and also for the recording that will be on my channel later, because all of your questions, even if they are pretty particular to your situation, they help us all really. And so I encourage you, if you're asking questions or participating or just watching, do pay attention to the comments. Because often your questions are so great. I also encourage all of you in the audience to put up your comments. So as the night progresses, I'll comment on and answer as many questions as I can. I won't get to all of them, and I just I just am not able to do that, but I'll do my best. In the meantime, if one of you listening has a thought or a perspective or wisdom to share, all with respect and in love and in the interest of healing, please add them to the comments. I know that the last couple of times that I mentioned doing that, the comments filled up with some really great wisdom from all of you. So feel free to comment. Um, so you've got an idea of what I do. Anything more to share with you about what to expect tonight? The topics are pretty far ranging usually. I just, again, this is spontaneous. So I just take a look at what you've typed in, what you've asked, and I let my own wisdom and experience come through, but I'm also opening up to spirit. I'm opening up to my spirit guides, my higher self. And I have also invited those of you who are participating, whether you're participating live or if you're watching this later, kind of time in the psychic realms, time in the shamanic realms doesn't really exist. So even if you're watching this long after the live event, please know there's probably a reason why you found it, why you're here even tonight live. Your spirit guides, your higher self, brought you here for a reason. There's something to hear. And so I'm opening up to that too. So I have just opened the psychic doors and I will report what I become aware of, what I'm given. Again, a reminder, I don't get to control what information comes forward. In these events, they're very much for me like giving a reading for you individually. Um, I'm kind of doing quite a few things at once. I'm trying to pay attention to your questions, but maybe even more so, I'm really paying attention to your non-physical support, your guides, your allies, your higher self. If there are deceased loved ones or those who have passed over who have a pertinent or relevant message tonight, I've opened up that part of the information stage. So I've got a kind of a few things going on all at once. I'll do my best to hear and report, and we'll just go for it. Again, spontaneous, casual, always though respectful, always healing, always loving. So if you've done this with me before or had a reading with me before, I like to step into um, this kind of an exchange with a prayer. So even though absolutely it's casual, um, nevertheless, we're all in our own ways opening up to psychic information. So even though I'm going to be the one doing the talking, perhaps where you are as you're watching and participating, you may feel yourself getting some impressions. And so for that reason, I want to make sure all of us are in some lovely containment of love and healing. So I'm going to open with a quick, short prayer, and that's going to help me get into the zone a little bit more. And then I'll start looking at all of your questions. One last thing to say, um, even though, yes, it's true, I won't get to everyone's question. If you want, feel free to type in your question more than once. If I pass it by, maybe wait a few minutes, type it again. It doesn't guarantee I'll get to it or see it, but it helps. So if you're willing to do that, it can be helpful for me. Okay, so on your end, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, just take a moment to come into this time that we're sharing together. I call this gathering a medicine wheel. It's a blessed space for us to gather safely and with clarity. And so take a moment in your own being, your own awareness of your heart to come into your body It's helpful to be grounded, it's helpful to be aware, and so taking a deep breath is helpful. You might check in with your, posture, so, by all means, get cozy, get comfortable, but just for this opening prayer, check in with your backbone, make sure you're aware of your backbone, check in with your shoulders, let them relax. Feel your feet on the ground. If you're not in a position where your feet are on the ground, at least be aware of Mother Earth beneath your feet and her support. And once you've done that, and again, this isn't a big set of spiritual calisthenics. It's just some guidance I'm giving you right from the start to kind of put yourself in a space of hearing what you need to hear tonight. And so now that you're in your body, you're aware of nice deep breathing, cleansing exhale, take a moment to consider or check in or connect consciously with your spirit. I always say, whatever that means to you, each of us have our own connection to our inner selves, higher selves, soul selves, whatever we call that. I just want you to take a moment to consider that part of you because we are all eternal and we are in these bodies here temporarily, but at some point, each one of us will return home to your infinite self. And so just take a moment to connect with that. I often find that for me, is if I imagine going up and out my crown, the top of my head, for me, that's where my higher self is. And so I tend to go up and then I connect and then I come down and bring that into my heart. And so I offer that to you as a way to think about bringing your soul into this time we're sharing. But again, whatever this all means to you is what's most important. So now that we've gotten ourselves energetically in some lovely positioning, take a moment now to think about your intention. It's always important, in my opinion, to bring intention to work like this. You don't have to know everything you hope to gain or learn tonight, but at least have an intention going in. Your intention might be something quite specific. You might have a question or a real area of your life that you really are asking for guidance on, or your intention may be just to observe, just to receive whatever it is you're needing to hear tonight. And that's perfect too. But have an intention, be clear about why you're here. My intention for being here is to become a clear and open channel for all of you who are joining me live, and anyone who would watch in the future. This is my intention is for this to be a healing place, a place where we can be uplifted, where we can step into our power in a bigger way, where we can receive clarity, guidance. So, my intention is to be that conduit, to be that hollow bone, and bring forward to the best of my ability anything and everything that will be helpful to each of you. So, I am going to reside in my heart. I'm also opening up to your spirit guides and allies, your ancestors, and my own. And I'm going to say a prayer now. Oh, Creator, Mother, Father, God, all that is, spirit guides, allies, ancestors, power animals, thank you for joining us in this sharing tonight, in this circle, in this wisdom. I ask to be a healing force. I ask to be an open channel. Thank you, all of you, medicine keepers, for participating with us tonight, sharing your wisdom, your learnings, your stories, your healing, your guidance, your love, your humor. We are deeply grateful for your presence. There is always room for you here. Now, okay, so let me take a look at your questions. Fort Lauderdale. That's almost all the way away from me as you can get in this country. Pompano Beach. So Alicia, you're asking about your mom, Gail, um, passing less than 4 years ago. Let me see if I can invite her in. And are there any messages from her? I'm just gonna turn my attention for me, I ask people who have passed over who might have messages for you, I kind of ask them to show up for me here. Typically, spirit guides are here, and higher self and soul plans are straight ahead, so okay. Um, Alicia, I'm gonna ask her to Gail to come in a little more strong and clear and loud. Because the I'm smiling because the first image I get when I turn to your mom, Gail, is I think she shows me you when you were little, and almost this might be a too long ago reference for you or some of you, but does anyone remember? Or maybe there still are. Are there still brownies? So when you're a baby Girl Scout, you're a brownie. I know I was a million years ago, but for some reason, your mom Gail shows me you as that, and it doesn't have to mean literally that's what you were, but there's something about her showing me what kind of a sprite you were when you were little. I think she shows me kind of your you were first of all, I she shows me you being just incredibly adorable, but a little mischievous, and so there's humor. She brings humor forward. I can tell, and if you don't mind, I hope you can stay around. I can tell she may have some more to say to you about your life right now and maybe some family members. But I think because I'm just getting started and there's a whole bunch of you here, which is great. I'm gonna table her and ask if she can come forward a little more strongly. Um, because I feel like she may have some things to say about physical health and well-being, and I wonder if that may be a message for you, Gail, and so, I'm gonna make a mental note to return, to her. Yeah, because I think she's gonna stay right here, so stay tuned, if you don't mind. I'm gonna move on to another question and just let I think for all of those in spirit, all of those deceased loved ones or friends or colleagues that any of you may be hoping to hear from tonight, I think, I'm gonna ask them to come in a little bit more strongly and get in a little bit better order because I wanna make sure I can hear them clearly. So, we will return to Gail. Um Let's see. I'm taking a look at all these questions. Um, I'm really drawn to odd fish. You would like to know if you have, or you would like to know if there is any insight into finances and career. Um, I go to career first for you. And I feel like I'm being shown 2024. And I feel like right now where you're at in work and career, I get this upsurge and then it kind of goes down and it plateaus. And what does that even mean? I feel like the first really significant change I'm taken to in career is first quarter, second quarter actually of next year. So again, what how do you use that information? I feel like your guides want to give you a boost of confidence right now to say, please remember the divine timing in some of these changes. So absolutely, of course, we get to go very far in creating our own reality. It's important to take those steps and make those decisions to step into what we want. I mean, we do need to show up. However, there's a huge influence with regard to timing, particularly when something's getting ready to come into your experience and it's pretty big, it's pivotal. A lot of times in readings, I will see that timing around that is it's sometimes you got to let go of the wheel and let timing come in. So for you, odd fish, that's what I see. I'm so drawn again and again and again to early 2025. So what do you do about that right now? I feel like your guides are saying, please allow where you're at and what you're doing to continue serving you while this change is getting ready to come in. Now, what is the change? Is it a whole new career or job or business? To me, it feels like not a business of yours as much as opportunity coming to you, and I feel like it is new. Um, I also get a sense that it's gonna call upon your own abilities around originating. So while it doesn't feel like it's you, starting a brand new business, I feel like who comes to you is gonna ask you to take that over, to, be a leader. And so I'm not seeing too much else, which doesn't mean there isn't more, but in terms of, what you're wanting to be doing right now, it's almost like your guys are saying, "Take that breath and let this year be okay as is." You don't want to feel as though you're overextending or pushing too hard. Look to a year from now and get ready for that. If you have additional, follow-up questions about that, if that resonates with you or makes sense, drop a comment and I can circle back if I see it. Thank you for your question. Um, oh my goodness. So, your name shows up as how did I get here? So your question is what comes in about Mark, my cousin? He was found deceased a few days ago in his apartment. I am very sorry to hear that. That's very fresh. Um I don't you go on to write, I don't know how I feel hearing this news. As a family, we do not know what happened. Well, I'll see if I can connect with either Mark or perhaps helping spirits who can speak to that. It may be a little too soon for me to get too much about it, but let me go see. Okay, the first thing I'm being shown is, rather than, I'm not being shown at that this was illness or injury, and I read when you say you don't know what happened. Um, kind of stammering, and I think I will stop stammering and just speak plainly. I get a sense that for your cousin, Mark, there was, some level of awareness or some level of, action or, decisions on his part that put him in that situation. Now, I know that sounds like it could mean a few different things, and I'm not trying to be abstract as much as I'm just wanting to comment only on the things I hear clearly. The other thing I'm being told is for him, where he's still in the process of making this transition, which means there will likely be more to share with you and the family in a little while, I would say some weeks, maybe even months because I'm being told he hasn't, fully stepped into awareness and understanding of what happened himself, and, which means to me, while some decisions and actions he took, likely contributed to his passing, I am not being shown that he had a full expectation that this is where this would go. Because I am being told he's not clear yet, and that's not unusual. Everyone, just like in life, each of us are different. We live differently, we think differently. I have found that it seems like people who pass over get to have their own experience. There are some similarities of what happens for each of us when we make our transition, but we're also given a lot of healing, love, and latitude to come into that awareness in a pace that's healing for us. I feel he's being kind of lovingly cocooned a bit and eased into being shown all that has happened, and, so to me, that feels though as though he has not come into full lucidity about his passing, but he is surrounded by helping spirits, and I feel like he's surrounded by family. I feel like I'm being shown an older male coming in to, kind of sit him down and say, "Okay, here's what's going on." And so, even as I'm sharing this with you, I can feel the energy changing. So I'm going to move on to another question, but I think that you asking this question, and us and me being able to touch on it even just a little bit is actually helping him. I feel like it's in his own way, he's sort of hearing this conversation like it's muffled in another room, and I get a sense almost as if it's dawning on him like, "Oh, okay." So, even though I don't get to have a lot of details yet about it, I will say I'm so glad you asked the question because I think perhaps some of why it needed to be asked in this setup is to help him. So thank you for your question. I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Um, oh, Holly, thank you for sharing that. I didn't catch that. Um, well, I'm giving you and your family a lot of love. Again, I'm very sorry for hearing this news. Um, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna move on here. So Christine, my daughter is 30 years old and currently in school again. She's excited about her current class. Is she headed in the right direction? Any advice? Thanks, Megan. Okay, so Christine, your daughter. Yes. Headed in the right direction. I hear yes. Um, I feel like when you say she is, how did you put it? Currently, well, I thought you wrote it there, but you didn't. I feel like when I tune in on her, yes, she's headed in the right direction, but she's gone way over here, meaning wherever we understood her to be, was it's this is a departure from that. Um, I'm hearing that this new direction she's in puts her in contact with people she needed to be in contact with. In other words, um, particularly instructors, teachers who she meets, bingo, those are the ones her spirit needed her to connect with. And it doesn't mean her previous path wasn't going to bring her into contact with helpful people, but this is more direct. This is more pinpointed to what she really wants to do, what she really came here to do. By the way, down the road, because of these inspiring instructors, teachers, I can see that later on in life, she'll turn around and instruct and teach, perhaps not full time, but a bit because she will have such a positive experience in this new direction that she will remember what an impact a really important teacher can have. And that's a huge thing for her soul development. So yes, I'm supposed to say to you, I this is exactly how I just heard it. Rest easy, mama. She's going to do very well. This is the right path. You can be at peace. You can take a break from the concern. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to move on. Thank you for your question. Tiffany, our 12-year-old daughter, Maisie Blue. Okay, wow, that's a great name. Is struggling with mental health. I'm very sorry to hear that. I would love to know what you, her guides, are saying about the direction we are thinking about taking for her care. Maisie Blue. Here's what I'll say. The first impression I get when about your question, what are the guides saying about the direction we are thinking about taking for her care? Whatever is the direction right now, it's not 100% on target. However, I can see you guys proceed. kind of hit a little bit of pushback or a little bit of, we don't have the breakthrough perhaps, or the uh, evolution perhaps that's possible, that's actually definitely possible, but the approach brings you all to then going, "Okay, this isn't working, we're gonna go here," and then we go, and then we get some traction for her, then we get her into, a process that puts her on track that she may even continue with into adulthood. So this is one of those times where as a psychic, to me, the first hit is the direction you guys are headed is not quite right, but it's okay because I feel like her one of her helping spirits is saying, "Look it, we need something to happen here, and even if it's not the correct 100% thing yet, that's information too. That's actually helps us too." I wanna look at her name, Maisie Blue. I just love that name. Okay. Um, I feel a little emotional. She Interestingly, there's something about her seeing in her eyes, and I feel like, because she hasn't yet found what helps her connect with what is full, her full gifts in her mental body, and by mental body, I'm speaking to not only intelligence or intellect, but, how she works with that, right brain, brain, creative thinker, logical thinker. And so in this moment, it's not that I'm getting a lot of information that is under the heading of mental health. I'm actually kind of more over in the heading of how she's able to um, work with how her brain and intelligence works. I feel like that's a big component to this. Once she finds this expression, um, boom, we see so many connections being made, and the expression to me feels visually artistic, and that's why I'm back at the eyes. I almost got a feeling of perhaps not literal eye health or correction as much as in her own mind, how she looks out and sees the world. I feel like I want to put in her hand paints or crayons or an ability for her to create how she perceives the world. Once she can see that she can take what's going on here and have it show up as a visual representation out in the world, I feel like bingo. That just opens so many doors in her thinking and in her mind. And then the efforts and assistance that she receives around, mental health, she's able to bring them in or integrate them or even understand them. So that gets us into, the heading of creative expression. Gosh, when I'm in her mind, her creative thinking, her imagination is off the charts. It reminds me of incredible art that we would see in the 50s and 60s and 70s, pop art, psychedelic art, incredible abstract art. I wonder about that. I wonder if you see her gravitating toward that, or if she's had an opportunity to let herself paint her own canvas. Whatever's in here, get it out. I think that would be huge. So thank you for your question. I hope that helps. Okay. Oh, Patty, thank you for your greeting. I can't pronounce that because that's in Irish, I'm guessing. I recognize two of the words, but thank you for your greeting. Um, let's see. Oh, thank you. Tiffany followed up by saying her dad is an artist and she enjoys doing it, but struggles with perfectionism. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Perfectionism. I'm so glad you brought that up. What I see in her mind, Oh my goodness. It's not that she doesn't have the ability for precision or complex technique, but perfectionism, I would throw that out. Her thinking is so abstract. Her ability is so organic. She's not someone who would be a real well, I won't speak I don't wanna put limitation on what I see, but what I would say is likely she would find her highest groove with her creative expression in, art that was not asking to be like trompe l'oeil, like, "This looks exactly like an orange that I could eat." Again, not that she couldn't do that, but, what I'm seeing is color and pattern and, some of it almost, in my mind, looks like graphic art. I'm enjoying in this brief moment to get to read some of what's going on in her mind because oh my goodness, it's very colorful in there. Okay, I'm gonna shift and see whose question's coming up next. 100,000 welcomes. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Patty. That's very sweet. Okay. You know what? It just occurred to me. How about I don't know about all of you, but I need to take a breath, so I'm just gonna breathe. How's everybody doing? Sometimes when I do these, I'm getting so much information and it's moving so quickly, and I feel like I forget to breathe and forget to just sort of behold all of you apart from the comments. So, okay, Deanna. Okay, finances. Finances to support self during this life transition, Deanna. Um, the reason I'm not saying anything is I hear you when you say, finances, life transition. What can spirit say to you about finances to support yourself? Completely get the practical side of life. But and so the reason I preface your answer with that is because as I tune in on you, I feel like great spirits wanting to say, you're not done with a pilgrimage, interestingly. And so, is does that mean spirit's asking you to just, not pay attention to finances? I mean, I would think no, but I'm smiling because I feel like in a way the answer kind of is yes. So it doesn't feel like a hollow yes, or it's not about just living off hope or faith, although I'm getting scolded by spirit to say, actually, for her, it is that, and that's not insubstantial. So Deanna, I would say to you, maybe where you're at in this transition that you mentioned, perhaps I would suggest maybe it's not solely or primarily about finances. I feel like spirit says to me to say to you, when you can, fully verbalize to yourself what's truly in your heart about what it is you wanna do as a outside means to, generate or manage finances, then we're talking. It's almost as if I'm being shown your inside out where your thinking is pretty focused on finances and you're at a time in your life where actually finances flow from you being in clarity about who you are, where you're going, w- what you want at this stage in your life. So I feel like an answer to your question is offering you a question. Do you know who you are, what you want, what doesn't work for you anymore, what does work for you? And can you stand, spine straight, heart open, eyes forward, and move forward in that? Yeah. Your guides are stepping in and showing me the archetype of the Queen of Wands, which for me, in a reading speaks to a female who's quite strong. a female who is in a time in her life where she knows how to step into her power. And so I feel like your guides want to say, you have forgotten that. You have forgotten your power. Um, and I will just share that while your question was could not have been more practical, finances. Um, you know, in doing so many readings and so many readings are about finances because in our world, those are, that energy exchange is important and vital. But I will say this message that you're receiving about your question is one I've heard in different ways, and that is just remembering that um, finances and wealth and sustainability tend to come in ways that work for you when you do have that clarity. When we find ourselves working really hard to balance finances or to feel okay about finances or to see evidence of finances, as hard as it can be when you're tempted to think, I got to do something, something's got to break here. um it's, if ever there was a time to actually pull back from the dollar amounts in the account and go inside and really work on that balance, really come into your power, really turn toward, again, just like your guides were saying, who you are, what you came here to do, and going for that. I feel like for you in your life right now, that's what's swirling around with regard to finances. What that Queen of Wands I just heard for you is meant to let you know you have everything you need to have your finances look however you want. It's not lack of power here, it's not lack of ability here. You're in a little bit of shimmery illusion around what finances mean to you at this stage in your life. So I would get spiritual on it first. I would get inner focused first, and then I would look to the outside world. And then I would start to make actions in my financial life that were in alignment with my inner connection, my inner focus around who I am and what I'm offering the world, what I'm ready for. I hope that makes sense. Thank you for your question. Okay, let's see. Oh, Christine, thank you. It's so good. Oh, every family's watching. Hello, hello, family. I'm so glad you're here. Um, we're here. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Teresa, the color orange is filling the space behind you tonight. Oh, is there a message in that for us? Oh, sacral chakra. Or is that you embracing your, I don't see that word, something energy. Okay, great question. So orange, is there, well, let's ask. So sacral chakra. Interestingly, to follow the energy of your question around the color you're noticing, is it a message for all of you? I go into solar plexus. I get this the orange relating to sacral, but if I open up to what might that mean for all of you who are watching at this time? Oh boy. Okay, I got to say, Teresa, I think you just opened a big box here with your question. I'm being shown solar plexus. And solar plexus, for those of you who may not know, is, right beneath the heart. Um, I feel like we've got a message here that is meant to speak to upcoming events in 2024 as it relates to leadership in a big level, national level in our country, and not just in our country, but I feel the ripple effects and the co-creation with other countries. So, we are not alone on this planet. Our country is not, is in a co-creation with other countries. So we all are aware we've got a significant election coming up in the United States in 2024. So, Teresa, when you ask about this orange color that you noticed, I feel like it is an entree to a message for all of you to consider, see if it resonates, and that is this orange color and solar plexus. So, very, very, very simply put, in vibrational medicine, the solar plexus energy center, it can have to do with a few different things, but in this instance, I feel like we're speaking about power and control. Our own power versus our cooperative power. How well do we all act for ourselves, or do we all be selfless and act for the group? And does it have to be either or? So I just feel like there is a message kind of coming from a bit of a concert, a group of I just heard of concerned souls, um, engaged souls with all of you, and more with what's coming up, the big transition in this country. What would be helpful is what I heard. What would be helpful would be for each of us to spend some time as we start this new year, really doing our own walks in our own hearts and our own intentions around power, personal power. Where do we feel powerless? Um, where do we feel we need to overextend power because we feel powerless? I'm hearing that the theme of your interpersonal, intimate relationship with your own power is being kind of out pictured in the country. And so when you observe what's going on in our country as we gear up for knowing who all the candidates are and where we're headed, it could be very helpful to participate in the unity of the country you live in. And right now, we're talking about the United States, to come into greater partnership, greater understanding, greater compassion for your own power. So begin to notice, perhaps as soon as tomorrow, next time when you're out in your world, you're at work with your kids, driving on the street. Notice when you start to dip into power struggles. When do you start to feel as though you need to be on the defensive or on attack, to preserve your own boundaries or your own interests or your own space? If you could at least notice that first, doesn't mean you have to not have those reactions, but to start to notice them, start to become more curious and see if there would be a way to honor your own boundaries and needs, and at the same time ask to understand within yourself, what can I do in this situation to honor myself, and not or, but and um, be in union with this person or group of people that I'm looking at. So, power struggle, power expression, power balance, power control. So, solar plexus, you may be one of those people who would feel that. You feel that in your upper gut when power becomes an issue. You can sometimes feel that as a knot in the stomach or knot in the solar plexus. And so one last thing to add to this from one of these kind of over guides that are if we know we as individuals have helpful spirit guides. Countries have non physical support teams. Countries have guides. planets have guides. So I feel like we're getting a nice message at the level of um, international guides. And so I'm being asked to remind all of you the solar plexus, the seat of that, power exchange with ourselves and then our brothers and sisters, is it sits right under the heart. So how might you not only begin to travel in your solar plexus more to become more familiar with your own power and how to wield it um, cooperatively in a healing way. How can you step into true leadership in your own energy and control and power, and therefore become um, um, an ideal for others to see? So, out in the world next time, you might feel like, okay, I got to fight for my position or my interests. It's not that the reading says don't take care of yourself, but the message right now is saying how might we step into the higher, more evolved level of leadership in a situation like that? What can we insert from the heart center, from the intelligence of the heart, that then can infuse the energy that comes out of our solar plexus? And so, if we know our heart centers are the representation of where our spirit selves meet our human selves, that's why there's so much intelligence in the heart and the wisdom of the heart. So we're being asked to infuse our expressions of power with the wise leadership of our hearts. And so, Teresa, that's what I hear is meant to be the answer offered to your question. Wow. Okay, everybody. I think we'll go a few more minutes. I always just allow these to have their own natural lifespan, but I can feel a little bit of kind of getting to kind of winding down. But we'll go, good 10, 15 more minutes. I just want to flag that for everyone. Also, I'm checking in with Gail, the departed loved one in spirit. And I just want to check in because I said I'd circle back. And so I believe, forgive me if I'm forgetting, but is it Alicia who asked about Gail? I feel like, again, she just comes in and reminds me of, just her message for you about some of her most beloved memories that she has taken with her into her afterlife. They're like, she shows me the like treasures, like gems in this treasure chest. Like when she departed the body, she brought with her her most cherished memories. And I feel like her message for you tonight didn't need to be, big long thing. It was merely to take out one of the gems in her treasure chest and open it and say, and behold you as this little girl, this curious and little, edgy is not the right word. Gosh, here's another kind of throwback reference. Who is that wonderful character, Ramona, in kids' books? She's so she loved your fire, and she loved your spirit, and she loved your how sometimes maybe you'd get a little angry as a kid, like you had these ideals. This is how it should be, and not understanding when it wasn't that way. And she would watch you almost kind of bump your head up against that, and she would watch you as an adult and just, love that that was an expression of how curious you are, how full-hearted you are, how much spirit you have. And I feel like her message is just to say, you as a little girl is one of my most cherished life memories, and I will keep it always. So, okay. Oh, Teresa. Thank you, Council of Engaged Souls. Yes, that's a great name, Council of Engaged Souls. Oh, Alicia, there you are. Yes, Gail. I hope you just heard that. Um, Ramona Quimby. I loved Ramona. What a great character. Also, kind of to me, it's a combination of Ramona Quimby and Scout from To Kill a Mockingbird. That just that kind of spirit. Oh, hello from Wiley, Texas. Hello. So, like I said, we're gonna wind down a bit here. Oh boy, I just am noticing some of your comments about the Council of Engaged Souls. Hopefully, we will go with compassionate interconnectedness, actions, and thoughts. Oh, aho to that. I hope that's where we go as well. Um, Okay, how about we're about coming up on an hour here. I'll take one more question. So let's just see what pops up here. Okay, from Sherry in Texas. Um, Big changes are happening in my life. Can you tell me anything about the word is behind this emoji. I'm gonna wait till it pops up. Can you tell me? Oh, there we go. Oh, your love life. Yes. And the word love was hidden behind a heart emoji. So that seems fitting. Okay. Again, I'll say the question. Big changes are happening in my life. Can you tell me anything about my love life? Sherry, let me. I'm smiling because, I just go rolling into Sherry from Texas, and right away, I don't see Sherry, I see this partner right here, big as life, and so I'm kind of swimming going, "Wait, wait, 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 is this someone you already know? Are you already in partnership, or this is someone coming?" Um, I'm gonna say this feels to me as though, um, I feel like I'm Sherry, I feel like I'm tuning in on someone who is mere steps away from falling into this enormous expression of love. Like I this I'll this presence for you, meaning this is a living person. I'm getting a sense of male. This shows up as a male for you in partnership. And he's so big in spirit and energy. He's so for you that I almost kinda can't see you in a good way. So, to me, this feels like someone, like I said a moment ago, someone who's just you, steps away from just being embraced by this partnership. This feels like it shows up with all the most exemplary cards in the tarot deck, Two of Cups, the Sun card, the Lovers, all these partnerships, all these incredible disc cards, meaning this is a relationship that's the love is big, but the foundation is there. This works in the real world. And sometimes that's not always the case, right? We can have a relationship that works great in the practical day to day, but maybe missing the big love. And then vice versa, we can have the big love and it falls apart in the, day to day. This is the whole enchilada, so to speak. I'm smiling too. I know this sounds like a cliche coming from a psychic, but I can't help smiling because I also feel like this is a relationship that bowls you over because there's past life stuff there. And someone just said 9 lives like a cat. I feel like this is like your 8th life with this person. You guys incarnate, you meet, you partner, and you go have an adventure in all these different ages. Then you transition and you go back up and you suit up and you go in again. Like I feel like I'm being shown a lifetime where the two of you were on the same sailing ship and you spent a whole lifetime. Oop, I just bumped the mic, sorry. Spend your whole lifetime going around the world on these sailing ships. Let's see, about my love life. I think there's something more to tell you. Hang on. Ooh, I just got emotional again. I'm supposed to say to you, I want to check your name again, Sherry. Um, this will feel like the handcuffs come off. You won't, this is love for you that is not binding. You won't feel like you have to chain yourself up or contort or get small. This is you being completely free in love, free to have all your power, all your expression. This is a relationship where the partner says, "Yeah, you got any more? Show me more. Show me more." Um, I feel like I want to say to you, get a pen and journal ready or a keyboard ready. You're going to want to write about this love. I wonder if they're down the road there would be an article or a book, or it might this experience that you have might inspire in you, like dreaming up a character for a book that, is goes off in these romantic novels. I know this just sounds like, wow, took this and ran with it, but I feel like that's what this is. And I know I don't think this is symbolic by any chance. Have you ever thought about or felt inspired to write and to write romance stories or novels? I just get a sense of you being able to really write about finding love or big love. So there's something there. I just got a sense of timing. I feel like this is not far away. I would wonder even if you become aware of this, God, is if I almost feel like right about now. I also get a sense of the sustainability of this relationship. So to me, this looks like committed. Like this is done. Once this is, you turn toward one another and you understand all of the ways that you connect, this is it. Off you go into the sunset. So this is you being able to finally put the pedal to the metal in terms of going fast in love. Um, really seeing what you got under the hood. I don't know where these phrases are coming from. I swear this is coming from one of your guides. Like you get to finally see how fast this vehicle can really go. How fast? Pretty fast. Okay. Um, well, thank you for your question, Sherry, and thank all of you. I am so sorry. I am just not able to get to every question. That's the only drawback to getting to meet with you this way is that I my guides kind of start pulling me out of this. Usually about an hour in, and I do my best. And so, thank you to each one of you who is here, who stayed with me so far, who were willing to share, even if I was unable to get to you. I want to thank you so much. I do these not too frequently, about 3 times a year. I would invite you to join me again. Um, and I want to say, I know I said it at the top of the our opening the meeting, but if you are someone who is watching this after it's live, again, I would encourage you to let this event kind of kickstart your own questions. Like you could, even if you're watching this later, you could write your questions down and go into meditation and ask your soul and guides to inform you. You could put the question under your pillow, put it on your altar. So, the energy of this time together is not only the questions that I was able to get to, but the energy of all of us, your intentions, your emotions, your intelligence, your wisdom, your experience, all of it exists, will continue on the non-physical and the energetic and vibrational realm. And so if you want, you can see this time that we've spent together, even in a moment when I'm going to close it down, you can still surf the energy of all of us gathering in this way. And I would encourage you to do that. You might be surprised how the ripples of this are powerful. And even if you're still alive and I did not get to your question, I would advise the same. I would put your question in a sacred place, near your heart or on your altar, and pay attention over the next days, particularly the next 4 days. And pay attention to those outer oracles that your spirit and your guides and your loved ones in spirit are going to show you. If you stay open, if you keep the invitation open to having your question answered, oh, it doesn't need to come through me. I tell you what, and usually the answers to our questions just come from our own dreams, from some stranger in the checkout line turning to you and saying, "Oh, I just felt like I needed to tell you this," or keep the magic going because we've got a lot of spirits assembled here. And when I say goodbye to you in a few minutes, they're not disappearing. So consider using the energy, all of your good intention and participation here. Keep it going, especially again the next 4 days. Pay attention. Pay attention to your downloads, your impulses, your ahas. Right, 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 right. I wouldn't be surprised if your answers were question or your questions were answered. And if you asked a question and I did get to it, I would encourage you to stay open because you may get even more. Alicia, Gail may talk to you more. Holly, I'm sorry, is it your cousin or your nephew? I'm sorry, I forgot. He may be able to talk to you more and you may be able to share with the family. So stay open. I would encourage you to. Again, okay, I'm going to go. Thank you again. Mwah. I wish you all well. I look forward to those of you I'll get to see in sessions. I want to tell you, I'm pretty excited in March. I'm having my first live in-person workshop in 4 years. You know that as many most of us had to do was shut that down in 2020. March of 2024, I've got a workshop coming up in Bellevue. And so if you follow me on social media or you're signed up for my mailing list, you'll get information about that. I would love to see you there. And I know some of you I'll see in sessions. Some of you I may never see in person, but oh boy, I've so enjoyed getting to connect with you from all points: Texas, North Carolina, Idaho, Renton. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being who you are. Guess we get to pay attention to our solar plexuses and our hearts, especially in this country, I guess, though, really, anywhere you are in the world. It's always really good to learn to marry heart with power. So I'm going to say a closing prayer to make sure I close all the psychic doors I opened. So if you're still with me, just take a moment. If you want, you might go into your own heart, take a deep breath in and a full cleansing exhale. And just take a moment to, in your own way, whatever it means for you, to give thanks. Give thanks for your life, for your soul, for the air in your lungs, whatever you feel inspired to give thanks for. This is a great time to do that internally. And I'll say a closing prayer. Oh, Creator, Mother, Father, God, all that is, spirit guides, allies, ancestors, power animals. Thank you, as always, for all of the good healing medicine that came through in this meeting that was able to be shared with so many bright and beautiful souls. Thank you, Spirit. We know we do not walk alone. We thank you for your guidance, for your wisdom, your humor, your love, your strength, your support. We return now, each of us, to our own sacred hoops, our own original medicine, and help us to walk paths of beauty with open, full, strong hearts. We embrace you all. We send you all home, and we close every door that was open. We say this circle, this meeting is now complete. Aho mitaku wasan. Well, again, thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you next time. And oh, it's hard to say goodbye, but I'll sign off for now. Bye, everybody. Mwah.